I'm a beast with these flows. It's the return of the Beast Coast.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Dave, and this is Silent Sean. And today we'll be reviewing Beast. Beast is a subsidiary of the Burger and Lobster chain who opened a couple of years ago and specialize in selling steaks and large Norwegian king crabs. Beast is located about a 5-minute walk from Oxford Circus, and it is a pain in the ass to find. Here is a picture of me after I finally found Beast. The way Beast is set up is pretty unusual. They basically have a giant mess hall style room which has tables sitting opposite each other in a communal dining setup. We came pretty late, so we were pretty happy not to get seated opposite anyone, giving the restaurant a more expansive feel. And they also happened to play a great soundtrack there, which included the likes of 07 and Cream, which was right up my alley. Although I don't know how Sean feels about my singing.
Yo, MF Doom,
Mr.
fantastic.
Villain.
We've linked the menu below in case you want to get a feel for how the menu looks and what kind of food is served. Now let's start with the starters.
Go.
First up is the pan-fried king crab and foie gras gyoza. The dumpling itself was very good. The skin was crisp and browned on the fried side, while having a nice chew on the side that was just boiled. The filling was overcooked, the crab was dead. No sweetness, and it got that rubbery chew that comes with overcooked shellfish. Foie gras is not something that you have to look for if it's there. It wasn't there. I couldn't taste it, and there wasn't any present fattiness either. For $3 a pop, this is a huge dud.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't think this was a particularly good course. It just tasted like a cheap gyoza that was served at a random Chinese restaurant.
Agree.
And I also don't understand why it was labeled as foie gras, because I also could not taste that. So
Wasn't there?
I think they were off to a bad start there. One.
Our second of the starters was the prawn tempura with wasabi mayo. It was also, for starters, calling this a tempura is a total misnomer. The batter was heavy and it was there in excess. I'd have some bites of just batter. There were either whole eggs in the batter or no carbonation. Both no-nos for a tempura.
Yeah, I also think that there was too much batteriness going on, and well, it didn't feel like they put that much effort into really trying to make a great dish there, rather than to pump out something with an Asian-esque startery feel to it.
It was very sloppy.
Yeah.
There was also an unacceptable amount of grease in there. This points to problems in both preparation and cookery.
I agree with that. I also thought it was too oily, now that I'm thinking back.
Greasiness tends to manifest itself during a fry when the temperature of the fat in what you're frying is not right. It was bad and it was overpriced. $3 a pop?
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. All right, I agree. I also had a burrata as a starter, which Silent Sean did not try, because I'm a big fan of burrata, and I do have it when I am at my hometown pretty much every week, or perhaps even more frequently. And yeah, sometimes I order it at restaurants here, and it's pretty inconsistent. I mean, it's always good from a base level, but I thought actually that they served it here with like a tomato sauce and some sort of sun-dried tomatoes, and I think it worked. But one common problem that is here is that it was too cold, and yeah, that didn't really work for me. And I also think it might have needed salt, because the dish tasted just a little bit weak on the whole. Go.
Now that we've knocked out the starters, let's discuss the sides before we get to the main event, the steak. First up are the sprout hearts, which overall were well cooked and crisp with no vegetal notes, and they were seasoned really well. Very solid.
Yeah, these were offered as a special starter, and I was tempted by them. I thought they were a little on the salty side, but I may have just had too much sauce with them. But they were otherwise good.
Yeah, I thought they were a bit salty as well, actually, but I didn't mind so much because I think the other sides were a bit less on the salty side.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Next up are the truffle chips, which come in at a whopping 9 pounds. The chips were very pillowy. I didn't really get much of a crunch out of them, but I think Dave disagrees.
Yeah, I was loving the chips. I thought they were real crunchy. They were a bit truffly and pretty overpriced, but they went well with mayo, so whatever.
I didn't think that they were in any way twice fried. I wish they were tossed in truffle oil, or the shavings were tossed in with the entirety of the chips because they got pretty boring to eat.
I
By
could
the
see
bottom of
I
them.
could see that.
The last of the sides was mash served with Wagyu drippings, coming in at $8. And lastly, this is the steak that me and Dave got, which is a 900-gram bone-in USDA prime ribeye.
Yeah, I thought the mashed potato was of a really good quality. I thought it was pretty creamy, soft, and tasty.
Yeah, I had no complaints. Thought it was very buttery and smooth, and there was a light beefiness from the Wagyu drippings.
I don't know if I tasted that myself, actually.
Okay. It was very subtle, I thought, if there at all, but
Yeah.
yeah. It is worth noting that you pay for this steak by weight, and the ribeye has a bone in it, which you are also paying for.
Which is a bit of a scam, as far as I'm concerned.
That is where the complaints end with the steak, though. For me, I thought the meat was cooked to our preferred temperature of medium rare, and it was well rested, which is all I'm really looking for.
Yeah, I think this was a top-class steak. They cooked it pretty much perfectly, and it was comfortably on par with the best restaurants worldwide.
Definitely in London as well, I'd rate it super highly.
Yeah, it would be one of the best cooked steaks you could get in London. That is for sure. Yeah. Overall, I think Beast was a solid experience. I think the food was of a pretty decent quality, especially the steaks, although the starters were weak. But what I really liked about this place was the atmosphere in general. I really liked the music. I really liked the setup. It's a very unique setup. I really just love the feel of the whole place. My main complaints would be that I think they really put most of their effort into the main dishes and they sort of meh about the sides. And I think it's actually pretty overpriced. Or
Yeah,
not overpriced, but at least you can do better.
I would go as far as overpriced. I think if value for money is of any concern for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good option if you're on a budget of any sort.
Also, I think that we kind of disagree on the atmosphere. I think that we got pretty lucky to be seated alone. Like, if we were at any point seated or sandwiched between a bunch of other people, I think it would have lessened my experience by quite a lot.
Yeah, I could understand that if you're uncomfortable in venues where they really push you close together and force you to the unwantedly
Yeah.
interact with people when you sort of may just be there for a one-on-one dinner or a dinner with friends. And if you go there and it was full, you basically do not have that option.
You'd definitely be rubbing shoulders with the people next to you. It's pretty cramped, I thought.
Okay, I didn't feel that much about it, but it seems
Okay.
like we just don't agree on that.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm giving this place a 6 out of 10.
Overall, despite the quality of the steak and the sides being pretty high, the starting experience of all the starter dishes really took away from the meal as a whole. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10.
Hi! If you made it this far, thanks for watching our whole video. This is the first video we have ever made, so you'll have to excuse the amateurishness of it. I have no idea, and Sean has no idea how to edit a video, how to make a video, or what kind of formatting to use. So please go easy on us. We're both very fragile. Should you have watched this whole video, please leave any comments or, constructive criticism or anything you liked or didn't like about this video. That would be extremely helpful to us for when we make our second and hopefully third and hopefully fourth and more videos. Lastly, what do you think? Have you been to Beast? Do you agree or disagree with our ratings? Do you disagree or agree with any of our criticisms? Please let us know in the comments box, and also let us know if there's like a restaurant you would like us to review, and we will do that. Thanks very much for watching. This is Dave and Silent Sean.
Bye.
See you later. You can hear me saying go in a couple of the clips.